take up the NLTP Act into discussion. I would also like to join in the debate on behalf of my party, NCP, and on my own behalf. Whether or not, it is always good to discuss and deliberate upon such important act, not only NLTP Act, but also other act, so that all of us, including our people in the grassroots level, should know the merits and demerits of the act, particularly this very NLTP Act. Well, it has been 35 years since NLTP Act was enacted on 26 November 1989, but came into force from 1st December 1990. This act was necessitated following ill effects of the consumption of liquor, affecting individuals, families, and ruining the social harmony. Seeing this alarming destructive effect, the demand for declaration of dry state was launched, which was spearheaded by Nagaland Baptist Church Council, where church workers from all over Nagaland gathered in Kohima and declared fast unto death till government would agree with the demand for the total prohibition. Speaker sir, for Nagas, consumption of liquor is a moral issue because it destroys both physical as well as spiritual aspect of life, ruining individual life, family, and society. Alcohol is considered as mother of all evils. When a person is under the influence of alcohol, one would not be aware of himself and the surroundings. Thereby, decency and modesty of life is at stake. I would like to remind all of us from scripture which discourages the consumption of alcohol. Very good. Woe to those who rise early in the morning to run after the drinks, who stay up late at night till they are inflamed with what? They have harps and lyres at their banquets, pipes and tambourine and wine, but they have no regard for the deeds of the Lord, no respect for the work of his hands. Therefore, my people will go into exile for lack of understanding. Those of high rank will die of hunger, and the common people will be parched with thirst. Isaiah chapter 5, verse 11 to 13. Thus, the words of God caution the people on the abuse of alcohol. Speaker sir, we presume and thought that we lost state revenue because of the imposition of NLTP Act. Yes, there is some element of truth in it, we cannot deny. But that is not the only reason. We can see the other side of the coin. For instance, we have certain departments where we can earn or generate revenue like power department, PHE department, NST department, etc., etc. But the revenue generation is always less than the financial inputs made by the state government. There is no profit. It shows that our people is not honest and civilized as it ought to. Therefore, even if we do away the NLTP Act, partially or totally, it shall come back to square. There won't be much impact as far as revenue collection is concerned. Rather, there will be a disastrous impact in our social life. I do not think this is wise move on our part as lawmakers and representatives of the people because it is against the wishes of majority citizens of the state. Speaker sir, in all aspects, Nagas are still young, not fully matured. We still need prompting and guidance in one way or the other. We need some regulations to guide to be measured and responsible citizens. We cannot compare our people with other people who have a long story of civilization in all aspects. If people of other states or people of other countries have no prohibition and face no issues of not having one, we have no reason to compare with them. Because we are not Americans, we are not Europeans, or even immediate neighbor like Assamese. We are Nagas who still need some kind of guides and rule of law to enforce upon the people, to behave in certain desired ways. Nagas have the strong tendency of indulging till we are destroyed, because we cannot draw lines and limits. Instead of letting partiality or totality, let us rather strengthen the egg and reinforce by way of increasing manpower in the department and thrust out the obstacles in a collaborative efforts by involving civil society organization and the churches as well. Most of our population live in the rural area, who are mostly innocent and ignorant. Once we leave the egg, the most victimized population will be those of rural people. The people in Dimapur, Kohima, Mokokchung, and urban area will not be affected much because they know the limit, differentiate good and bad, and can afford the quality wine. While the rural people in the villages can't afford to buy quality wine, and therefore they will opt for lower price wine, which is spurious wine. Looking at the egg, we have no moral authority to consider it as failure, because we have not put our efforts and tried to implement the egg into force in letter and in spirit. Instead, we must reaffirm and strengthen the egg and save the people from the jaws of alcohol. However, the intended NLTP Act was to improve and to provide better and healthier social life for the Nagas. But sad to say that it did not happen as expected. And the fault lies with you and me, and the people, not the government. Desired result will happen only if all of us give up drinking alcohol, whether genuine or spurious. Therefore, it is the responsibility of all individuals to do away alcoholic life, so that NLTP Act becomes a total success story. With all these reasons, my stand is lifting up Act, whether partial or total, is not the right option. Thank you, Speaker sir.
Thanks for giving me the time to participate in this discussion on NLTP Act, and as it is an urgent public importance. Well, I have a lot to say, but I will try to cut short my speech. Alcohol is nothing but it is just a clear, colorless liquid that is commonly consumed as a beverage. It is a psychoactive substance that can alter your mood, your cognition, your behavior, and chemically it is available as ethanol, methanol, and isopropanol. Well, when we say alcohol, we mean ethanol. three alcohol that is available to us: beer, wine, and spirits, or we call it whiskey and scotch, has a content of alcohol from 4% to 40%. Well, alcohol is one of the oldest, and yet it is still one of the most widely used drug. Right from the time of 6000 BC, during the time of the civilization of Mesopotamia, Egypt, and China, beer was available. And in the 1700 AD, when gin was discovered in England, widespread alcoholism was rampant in England, and it spread to the other countries. So, the advanced countries, they enact total prohibition 100 years before us, like the USA, Canada, Russia, Finland, Sweden, and Iceland. They had imposed total prohibition 100 years ahead of us, and they failed. In the case of India, it varies from state to state. Some states like Gujarat and Bihar, they have implemented prohibition laws. But other states like Goa and Kerala, they have some relaxed alcohol policies. And in our case, it is total prohibition since 1989. Well, as a professional, I would like to talk about the benefits of alcohol. I mean, moderate drinkers or responsible drinkers, what are their benefits? If you drink once or twice a pack or two in a day, we call it moderate or responsible drinkers. There's a benefit in your social and cultural aspects of your life. Here, what I mean to say is your interaction with your colleagues and celebration time, or the relaxation that you get, improves your positivity, your productivity, and your efficiency. Also, if you are a responsible drinker, your cardiovascular system are much better. The heart problem, stroke, and diabetes are reduced. Even your cognitive functions are much better. It reduces your dementia. Everybody knows that Alzheimer's disease, it is reduced. And also, your cognitive declination is, the onset is late if you are a responsible drinker. It has an anti-inflammatory property called a painkiller effect. At the same time, it has an antimicrobial effect. It can act like an antibiotic if you apply on the wounds or on infections. However, these benefits are not without side effects if you become a heavy drinker. So, the effects of a heavy drinker: you become addicted, you become dependent on alcohol, it impairs your judgment, your coordination, and also it declines your decision making. It increases the risk of accident, injuries, and violence. And the other health problems, like especially the liver, is the main targeting organ. Your mental status, nutritional status, everything is affected. However, today our topic is on spurious liquor. Here, spurious liquor is also called counterfeit, or it is also called illicit liquor. And these liquors are not made out of ethanol, but it is made out of methanol or ethylene glycol or other alcohols which are not consumable. We cannot consume such alcohols. And if you consume such spurious liquor, it damages your kidneys, your liver, you can become blind, or your gastrointestinal tract, your intestines, get injured, and it's called ulcer. It will bleed. If the bleeding comes out from your mouth, we call it hematemesis in medical. If the bleeding comes out from your anus, it is called melena. These things can happen. If you survive these side effects, you will still have some neurological problems like seizures, tremors, addiction and withdrawal. And also, it increases the chance of HIV or sexually transmitted diseases, hepatitis, because as you consume alcohol, more so the spirits, your inhibition becomes an exhibition. So all these things can happen to you. Well, apart from the personal body side effects, it affects our economy, it increases our health costs. Apart from the expenditure from the drinking to go for treatment, the cost goes tenfold, hundredfold. It affects our education because our children results are not up to expectation. Many things I would like to say, but seeing the number of speakers, I'm sure everyone is now situated. So, in conclusion, while prohibition may have some benefits, its drawback and unintended consequences cannot be ignored. Instead of a blanket ban, we should focus on education and awareness about responsible drinking, strict regulation on alcohol sales and consumption, support for addiction treatment and rehabilitation, and encourage a culture of moderation and responsibility. Let's work together to find a balanced approach that promotes public health and safety while respecting individual freedom. Well, to conclude, I would like to say, in spite of having so many pawn shops, those who are not going to take pawn, they will take steel. So also, even if we open the act, we repeal the act, those who are not going to drink will not drink. However, proper alcohol rules and regulation will be the choice. And I would suggest a proper consultation with the church leaders, with the civil societies, and to give a trial, maybe for a year or two, and see if the incident of crime has increased, if the incident of alcohol-related diseases are increased, or if, as feared by the church, the side effects of the 80s comes back, we may reinstate the act. If not, it's time to have a consultation and take a proper step at the earliest. Thank you so much for the time.